So let's play a quick game, shall we? For every question that applies to you or you do already, add yourself 1 point. But if it only half applies to you or you kind of do it but not consistently, you can add yourself half a point. But before starting, I really do have to warn you that these questions will not be easy or comfortable whatsoever. So if you're allergic to the harsh truth, click off right now and go watch your Mr. Beast video. So round 1. Have you even started? This does sound weird at first, but have you really taken action? If you're watching this video, you most likely have. But for the ones who just are still asking, where do I start? How do I start? You literally just start. I know this sounds confusing, but just start on something. Because if you keep pushing it off and off and off, it's never gonna happen. Because if you say you're gonna do it later now, then the later moment comes, and then again you want to just push it off. You know this already, you've experienced it yourself, I'm pretty sure. But okay, I'm gonna guide you quickly in a direction that you can start with. So the first thing you wanna do is decide what you actually wanna do or try. For example, scripting or building. So let's say you want to try scripting. What I suggest you do is just search up some tutorials on YouTube and click on the ones that you find interesting and just watch them, so you actually know what's out there and you can start building your own ideas on how to actually build the games. So now that you have answered the first question, let's move on to round 2. Do you keep learning? This one is pretty straightforward, but how do you expect to grow if you're not learning anything new? Like, how do you expect to make a better game than the one you have just with 3 models if you don't know anything about events, for example? I know it's pretty random, but still you get the point. Another thing that can exponentially increase your knowledge is just reading books. And yes, I know. School has fucked us over by making us read shit that we don't want to read whatsoever. And now for that reason, people just subconsciously don't like to read books for that reason. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to read what you don't want to read. Like, fuck your school conditioning. Like, go find a book that you actually find interesting. Like, a genre I would suggest you go for is self-improvement stuff. Like marketing or just health and stuff, as that usually has a lot of useful information. But if you're not into that just yet, that's completely fine. You can just still read like a fantasy book or whatever you like. But why is reading books important? Like, let's say you want to make educational videos on YouTube or whatever. For that reason, you actually need some topics to talk about. And if you don't know anything, then you're kinda screwed. So what you can do is, you read books to gain knowledge and just pass it down to others. But let's take a more practical example, as this probably doesn't apply to you. Let's say you need to give an opinion on something. If you read a valuable book, you can contribute really well, as most likely you have a good insight on the topic you have to talk about. So add up your points and let's go to round 3. What are your friends like? And man, I already see a lot of people getting pissed about this. But it's genuinely the truth. There's a quote that goes like this: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like, you are like your friends. You might just simply disagree with me here, but the truth is, you really do have some similarities with your friends. Because you usually just pick up their little mannerisms, either subconsciously or consciously. But these can be either good or bad for you. If your friends are acting like complete fucking dumbass, their dumbass mannerisms will hop on over to you. Like, for example, these insane anime sounds that they do when they play some game. Like, from an outside perspective, you just look like a idiot. There's no better way to say it. But if your friends are actually high quality, you pick up actually good mannerisms that make you higher quality yourself. Because just think about this. Let's say all of your friends are rich, but how did they get to that richness? They did something that made them rich, right? And a lot of the time it just is in your head, how you think about everything. So when you hang around these rich people, you start to think like them, because they are expressing their thoughts and their successes on how they do everything. So this is insanely valuable that you should really think about if you want to become successful. So if you actually have high quality friends that actually want to do something with their life and are striving to be better than they are right now, add yourself a point. But if not, don't. But if you're like me, who's still kind of in the middle, where I'm in a group with a bunch of guys who really want to improve themselves and become successful, but at the same time I occasionally just hang around people that just waste time constantly. So if you're like me, add yourself half a point. So now let's go on to round 4. Are you wasting time? Now this is also gonna be a bit of a controversial one and ties into the last one, but how much time do you really spend doing shit that doesn't bring you anything in return? This is gonna piss some people off, but how many hours do you keep playing Roblox? And you might say, oh, I'm using video games just to relax. How the hell is that relaxing? Like, your brain is constantly working, looking at the screen, figuring out what to do next. Like, how is it resting? Like, how is it being relaxed? Like, it's literally being worked all the time. Actual rest is like sleep or meditation, not hyper-stimulating your brain with video games and shit. But okay, I'm no perfect angel. I can't take the L and just raise my hand up and say that, yeah, I do play Fortnite sometimes, or Roblox. But the thing is, how you actually perceive the thing that you're doing. Whether you are coping about it, or just being honest and humble to yourself. Another argument I've heard is, oh, I just want to relax after a hard day. Like, okay, it's pretty much the same argument, but the thing is, you want to become successful, right? There's a person out there that doesn't take these relaxed breaks to play an hour of video game. Who do you think is gonna win? You who plays out an hour of video games after a hard day, or the other guy who persists and puts in the work? Of course it's the second guy, because he put in more work than you. Like, okay, go play your video games. But if you want to become successful, that just won't cut it. And no, I'm not saying that you should be productive 100% of the time. You can still enjoy yourself once in a while. But if these things that you're doing becomes a habit, then that's not good. So if you're not wasting time playing video games and stuff like that, add yourself 1 point. And if not, you just keep wasting time, don't give yourself a point. But if you're in the middle like me, add yourself half a point. And now let's go on to the last round. Round 5. Do you have a structured day? This strongly goes together with the last point. Who do you think is gonna win? The guy who doesn't know what he's doing, or the guy that has everything set in stone? Like, of course, the guy who knows what he's doing. If you have a set plan for the day, and you know what you're gonna do, you're just gonna waste much less time. Because then you don't have to think about what to do, how to spend your time, because you've already figured it out, and you can just be as productive as possible, just starting the next thing after the previous one. What exactly I mean by this is, do you have exactly a structured list of what you're gonna do at every time of the day? Like the timetables in school you had, or have. In my case, I don't have like a fully set timetable like that. A lot of the days are just completely different because I have a bunch of different stuff to do. But I do put in the effort as to what I'm gonna do throughout the next day. So for me, I would put this at half a point. But if you do have like a fully structured day, like in school, then I genuinely have to applaud to you, because that's really good. And you can put yourself 1 point more. But if you don't have any of this, well, then 0 points. Let me know how you did in the comment and where you need to improve and what you're gonna do to change that. In my case, I got 3.5 points out of 5. So now it's a lot more clear in terms of what I need to do to become a better example for you. So as always, remember, you are just one game away. And I'll see you in the next one.